Hey there, everyone. Welcome back. So, been doing a little bit of work off camera over the last week or two. Just kind of wasn't really in the mood to go into the do the video thing. Just kind of head down, trucking along, taking care of a little bit of lighter stuff. But one of the things I did get into was rather than using my normal spawn location to put enemies, I want to also have the ability to place enemies in the environment at specific locations, you know, using the same prefabricated um, behavior types. So, for instance, I got my stationary enemy here, and I place this into my scene from my prefab directory, and I just drop my model right into the model placeholder. Didn't really use the object pulling mechanism or anything like that, though I really should. That's something I'm going to need to go back to. But as part of that, since the spawn location was also, if you'll remember, responsible for grabbing information from my enemy repository and setting up the enemy's information, such as their HP, their attack power, and so on and so forth, I needed a way to grab that without the spawn location. So I added this enemy metadata loader that takes the key for this enemy type and just does very much the same thing the spawner was doing after the enemy was created. It calls init, it sets the properties, and just lets us go, right? We also have this additional thing that if there's no model underneath the model placeholder, it goes and grabs the model from an object pool, presumably. But I did notice a few, like one or two things that do need to be fixed up. And one of those is that when the battle is complete, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I was testing something. So we do need to change our enemy's HP because I was playing around with the animations and my enemy was dying too fast. Um, yeah, we want this to be dropped down 50 to 60 or 80, something like that. We'll let him survive a few hits. But in the enemy was not the death wasn't actually occurring correctly. I'm not sure why quite yet. So we do need to take care of that. Another thing I noticed is that in this scene in particular, the outline for where we want the player to click is pretty dark. I'm not quite sure exactly why that is. It seems like it's much darker than in other scenes. But yeah, so the battle doesn't end. The enemy remains just laying there. So apparently there's still some stuff that needs to be set up. So we'll dig into that first and foremost. And then kind of go from there and see what's going on with this. So let's take a look at our battle manager. So our start enemy, or our start battle rather, should be getting hit. We're a single enemy. So it should be doing all this jive. We're clearly showing our canvas. There's our start battle. It takes place right there. What about... Yeah, there was no nearby enemies. We entered the battle state, so obviously this is getting called. On battle start, blah blah blah. And I know for a fact we can escape the enemy. And our end battle gets called on escape complete or battle over player win, which gets called on wait for all killed enemies removed. And if I remember right, a part of this is detecting the end of the death animation. Which might not be wired up. Yeah, so that's being set from the animation controller for the Mechana models, which this is, no longer in there. So let's take care of this for now. I'm just going to pull this over, but another part of this is I want this animation controller to derive from my common enemy animation controller, which has these things in it. But we can, well, let's see, all this stuff. Question is, though, where is this actually being called from? Death sequence. It's being called from the play die operation. Yeah, so in my enemy animation controller, um, hmm. Enemy can remove from battle. This guy has enemy, yeah. This is kind of, well, we have this dot play and wait until finished. Yeah. So I think play animation is also a abstract method, I believe. Oh, it's not. Well, it should be. I feel like that's redundant, but so we'll go ahead and just for the case of this one, we'll just go ahead and leave it as just the name of the animation. So I think I might switch my I've been going back and forth on this use of this enumerated type here and whether that's even valuable. But we can deal with that a different day. Don't let the animator return to another animation state, and that calls animation.stop. I think that's going to be specific to the animation controller itself, so I can allow that to be overridden when I go back to realign the Mechanim animation controller to use this as a base class. I can override it and do it there. But I'm not going to worry about that too much for now. So let's go ahead and look at our legacy enemy animation controller. Oh no, hang on. So I need to implement this. Now, play and wait until finished. I mean, what else is this actually doing? Because at the core, I just need to do a yield return on while the animation is playing, or rather, while the normalized length is less than 1. Normalized time, rather. Just like we're doing here. Look at that. So, animation, get current state, blah, play the animation, yield return. Yeah, wait until we get the confirmation that the animation is actually playing, and then while that's playing, we check the inverse and blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's fine. I'm okay with this. Let's see here. So we got this guy is kind of our closest deal to that. Yeah, okay. So let's just grab this real quick. Yeah, we're going to wait for the length of the animation. Well, I mean, really, we're going to wait for the length of the animation times the animation speed, in case there's a multiplier on it. And you know what? By that rationale, though, then we do want this math.absolute value. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Play and wait until finished. I'll do that. And since our death animation should be a play once, I always get it mixed up, whether it's once or it's clamp forever that will lock onto the last frame. But I think that's fine. That'll wait until the end of the death sequence and then proceed. And then our next step, wherever the hell that went, is to set this can remove from battle true, which will, I believe, trigger something. Which on our update, we'll check that flag along with if the HP is less than 0, and we'll call the event to remove from battle, which should then trigger the rest of our death sequence. So let's go ahead and give that a swing and see what happens. Hi, Mr. Spooky Skeleton. Oh, I missed. Interesting. All right. Okay, so what's up? Enemy killed event. Did this fire or not? Let's just see if that fires or not. Because who knows, maybe it isn't. Enemy killed his hit. If enemies.count is 0, then start this coroutine. So I guess the other question then is our death sequence even being called? The answer is probably no. Because that's right, I didn't, because I'm dumb. That's why. Helps if we call the methods we implement. Yeah, just as a general rule. Alright, spooky skeleton. It's time for you to eat shit and die. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. That feels good. Feels real good. Alright, so there's one thing. Now, what's the deal with our QTE? Why is that thing so dark? Because I thought for sure in the other level it was good. Let's actually let's go take a look at that, right? Because I thought it stood out a lot more previously, but maybe that's just me. Yeah, see, it stands out a lot more here. I think it's just the gray on gray background. Once I get around to actually texturing that area, it'll be a little bit better. But you know, quite frankly, we can. What is going on here? Data not available. Unity editor. Okay, whatever. Unity editor, shut up. Let's see here. We're gonna lighten that up real quick. Overlay. No. Object pool. Guard QTE is this guy. Target. And moving. Is it this? FC 68. FC 68. So no. It's the line renderer, that's right. It's materials? No. Parameters. Something in here. Yeah, it's parameters, okay. Yes, that's the light one, this is the dark one. Let's make that a bit darker. Let's bring that opacity up a little bit. And let's go ahead and let's pop this guy. Let's add this scene additively, and then we can go ahead and play without going through that test scene. There we go. That stands out a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, I'm alright with that. Okay, so I think that's good for the moment. I do know there's an issue with my walking animation I want to take a look at. That's been kind of an issue with any of my patrol and grazing behaviors, where the animation just stops, but we'll take a look at that next time and try and keep these videos a little shorter than normal. So, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.